Hey there Bitizens, and welcome once again to Chronicle. My name is Francesca, and as usual I have a deck for you guys. But first and foremost, I want to show you something neat that they added in the most recent patch for all of you people who like your cosmetics, and that is skins. So each character, each legend, comes with a classic skin, a ingot skin now, and a copper coin skin. So this skin you pay for with copper coins, this skin you pay for with premium currency, and this one you get automatically. And as I had metric fuck tons of copper coins, I spent all my money on skins. So you can see here we have the jade skin for Vanescula. On Linza we have the organic skin, you see there. On Ozan you can see his natural skin, I'll be showing you guys that one later. On Raptor, we have the Blurite skin, and on Ariane, we have the Celestial skin. And, you know, if you have more money than cents, you can spend all of your actual money on even rarer skins, I guess, because less people will buy them. Anyway, moving on, we have our deck. And this deck is what I'm going to call a budget ranked deck. And this is something you guys have been asking me to show you guys, which is a competitive deck with cheaper cards. So we've got no diamonds here. We've only got, I think, 4 rubies, 2 Count Draenor and 2 Jad. Beyond that, it's base cards like, you know, your KGP and your Dragon Longsword, and then, you know, some emeralds like Darren, Full Tetsu. There's a few more than that. And then your blues like your Dagannoth Fledgling and Cullen Romancer and whatnot. And this deck is I called it Hopezan, but it is a Hope Devourer deck, a budget Hope Devourer deck. And this is the kind of deck I think you could use to climb up ranks up to about, I would say, platinum. I mean, once you're starting to get into the higher ranks, it's really worth trying to invest in getting some of those better diamond cards and maybe fleshing out the deck a little bit. But this is what you guys wanted me to do. Now, Hope Devourer, you see, still up to 1 base attack from rival. So this card, you take base attack from rival. So not only do you build your own base attack, you're putting them down 1. So it's kind of like a 2 base attack swing. And unsurprisingly, this is a base attack deck. You know, we have KGP Agent in here. We have Jad, we have Dag Sentinel, and we have Ogre Warlord, all of which give you base attack. And the thing is, Hope Devourer is a 7 damage, 14 health monster, but it also gives you 7 armor as a reward, which means if you can kill this in 2 hits, you will only take 7 damage, assuming you don't get griefed. Now, fortunately for yourselves, in this deck we also have Darren Lightfinger. Discard 1 random card, remove 4 costs from your next support. And fortunately for us, that also gives you 1 gold, which means if you play Darren Lightfinger, you can effectively pay for a 5 gold support. Lo and behold, here are some 5 gold supports. We have Dragon Longsword, a 5/3 weapon, and we have Full Tetsu, which provides sustain, because you are looking to go to the final fight with this deck. So Darren Lightfinger into Dragon Longsword gives you a 5/3 weapon. On top of that, your 2 base, you're now on 7 damage, which will let you kill Hope Devourer in 2 hits. So right out of the bat, you can actually Darren, Dragon, Hope Devourer, gain an AP and remove one of theirs. But it is a risky strategy in that if you get griefed, you know, you're going to be taking some big hits from Hope Devourer. Now on top of that, to help with your reach in this game for these bigger monsters, we have Safe Spot, remove 5 health from your next creature. You could, for example, Safe Spot into a Jad, putting it down to 2 health and making it very easy to kill. Also for reach, we have Sergeant Slimetoes here. This gives you a 3/2 weapon. And this is basically what I call a poor man's Kale. So Kale is your diamond card. You'll see me run it plenty of times. It is a very strong card, which gives you a 4/2 weapon for beating a 2/2 creature. Sergeant Slimetoes is a 2/6, so he's a little bit trickier to kill, but he does give you 2 armor, and he gives you a 3/2 weapon, so it's not quite as good. But, you know, if you get that KGP Agent online into the Sergeant Slimetoes... maybe, you know, a couple KGPs into the Slimetoes, you now have enough reach to kill the Hope Devourer. Alternatively, you know, if you've got the Sergeant Slimetoes into the Safe Spot, which puts the Hope Devourer down to 9 health, then you can kill it in 2 hits again. So there's lots of options for reach. And then on top of that, you know, you have your standard healing. So we've got the Tetsu, we've got the Dags, we've got the Count Draenor, and we've got the Cullen Romancer, just to keep you alive to the final fight. Now, Safe Spot discards a card, and KGP Agent discards a card. So we've got 4 cards that cause discard in this deck, and as a result, you want to also put some card draw in your deck. So to do that, we've got the Crassian Warrior here, and the White Wolf. And these also actually give you enough gold that you shouldn't need to run an Ali Morrisane in this deck. But hopefully that gives you a kind of flavor of what this deck is going to do. Now we're going to jump into a game. Now, because I'm currently in Platinum ranked, I'm on a Rising Star winning spree. I don't really want to run this deck in ranked. You know, I personally have better decks that I think, you know, have better win rates. And as someone who's trying to climb up to Diamond, I'm not going to run this deck in ranked for you. However, I'm going to run this deck in casual. You can see my form as I was making the deck here. We've got 4 wins and 1 loss. To kind of show you guys how the deck works. Because ultimately, all you really need to understand is how the deck plays. Once you know how the deck plays, you yourself can take it into ranked, and you can use this deck to climb up ranked. And I do think this is a deck that will easily get you into gold, and definitely, I think it would get you into platinum. Anyway, now we wait. And you should be able to see my Ozan skin now as we load into the game. You don't see it on the loading like images, unfortunately, but you should see it now that we load in. So there... No, it's all grayed out. You can see my Ozan skin. Anyway, we'll go through this in just a second. What have we got? Still up to full health. So what we can do here... maybe we can't. So I was going to say we could KGP into Count Draenor into Jad, but we can't actually do that because you only steal health if you have health missing. And if I KGP into Count Draenor, I'll only lose... I'll only take, 3 damage, which means I'll only steal 3 health from Jad, which means he'll be on 4. So what we're going to do, I think, here is get rid of... I think we get rid of Jad, we get rid of Cully, and we get rid of Dragon Longsword. We keep the KGP, and we keep Count Draenor, because it gives us reach if we don't get, you know, that... the options to try and kill the Hope Devourer, which unfortunately we haven't seen here. And this is a fairly poor starting hand, unfortunately. So I think what we will do here is we'll KGP. I mean, we could, like I said, we can steal 3 health with a Count Draenor, but it's not really worthwhile at this point. And I do have some sustain out there, so I'm happy kind of holding off and not really playing anything at this point. And just seeing how the match progresses. And there we go, we just discarded our Hope Devourer. As per always, if you play KGP, he's going to discard the 1 card that you don't want him to.
Welcome.
I mean, one thing I will point out, this is kind of standard, is occasionally you're going to get bad draw, okay? Occasionally you're going to get a whole bunch of cards that don't synergize. And that's standard regardless of what deck you're running. But I think for this deck, on the most part, I found it to be very consistent. And I think there's a good balance of, you know, big monsters and also far-reaching cards, along with sustaining card draw. Meanwhile, she's gained a hell of a lot of gold and drawn some cards. So, going to be a little bit wary of this Linza. Now, we do have a card in this deck called Kalphite Emissary, which is a 4/4 monster, which removes 5 armor and 3 durability from an opponent. So that's actually a really good option to counter Linzas. And you can obviously put more in if you feel like you're being beaten by weapons. You could put in some bar fights or a second Kalphite Emissary or what have you. But like I say, I feel like this is pretty much okay. This is very unfortunate draw. Like I say, we have options to equip these weapons, but we're not really getting them. I mean, we can, you know, steal 3 health. Actually, this probably works. So we steal 3 health from Dag Sentinel. And you're like, well, why are you stealing 3 health from Dag Sentinel? But ultimately, I think this is actually fine. This will put me down 3 health. This will put me down 2, so we can play Fledgling at the end. So watch what happens here. Assuming she doesn't hit me. Like I said, we hit this for 3. It hits us for 3. We hit it. And because we only have 3 health missing, we can only steal 3 health from the Dag. If we had 4 health missing, we would steal 4. And Dagonal Sentinel, if you can kill it in 2 hits, it's actually not a bad play. Because although I'm taking 8 damage, I'm also healing for 5. So I'm taking 3 damage to gain 1 base attack. Which I think is actually quite a good play. She's drawing more cards. She's not spending this gold. I'm really nervous. So then we have 4 base, so we can go straight into the White Wolf. And I do think with stuff like Crassians and White Wolves, you shouldn't really be tanking damage from them. There's very, very rare occasions where it's beneficial to do that. Your deck should be designed in such a way that you shouldn't have to. But that's given us some card draw, and then we've healed right back up. And meanwhile, like, Linza's getting more gold. And this is where Redbeard Frank, for example, would come in useful. Redbeard Frank is a diamond card that removes all of your gold and all of your opponent's gold. And it's a card that I tech into most of my ranked decks, just because when something like this happens, you know, it gives you options. Though from what I can see, it seems like she's drawn all of her gold spend and none of her gold gain. Okay, so here what we can do is Darren into Dragon Longsword. I'm hoping I don't discard my Kalphite Emissary, but knowing my luck, I will. Into... maybe Dag into Ogre Chieftain, I think. Because this will put us on... We'll 1-hit this. This will put us on 5 base, so we should have 10 damage. We'll 1-hit this, and then we will deal damage to her at least equal to 7. It seems like a good use. So let's go. And although I will say that by doing that, I'm, you know, increasing the chances that I'll discard Kalphite Emissary. But fortunately for myself, it didn't happen. We discarded the full Tetsu instead. It was a 1 in 4 chance. And that's one thing you do have to be aware of, you know, when you're discarding cards. Oh, she wants to battle me. Well, this is fine. Because, I mean, it uses up one of my durabilities, but I'm going to hit her for 10, right? She hits me for 3. I hit her for 10. And I didn't intend to use that weapon charge on this chapter anyway. Then we'll kill this and hit her for 7. And now she only has 8 health. And I mean, this deck definitely isn't designed to kill the person at the end of their... before the end of the game. But ultimately what it looks like is that she had a lot of gold gain and hasn't really been finding her weapons. And that's turned out quite costly for her. Like, there's not, you know, a huge amount of stuff to play. We could go for the weapon grief, but I'm thinking... there you go, there's a concede. So she's not getting the cards that she wanted, unfortunately. But hopefully you guys start to see how we start stacking our IP. I mean, I didn't get to show you guys the Hope Devourer, unfortunately, because we discarded him. But you saw, you know, the KGPs, the Jads, the Dagonal Sentinels, and also the Sustain, and how we kind of put that into our deck, and also how we were discarding cards and drawing cards. So we'll just go again, and hopefully get to show you guys, you know, a bit more of the deck and a bit more of how it's played. And I mean, ultimately we had a lot of Sustain in there because decks like aggressive decks, so, you know, like Ozan, like Pirate, Ariane, which we did last week, Vanescula decks that are very aggressive and try and hit you in the face a lot. You want that healing in there in case you get matched up against a deck like that. And if you don't get matched up against a deck like that, you know, it also means that you can take damage from your monsters and be able to heal it back up. Alright, what have we got? Draenor, Slime Toes. Let me work this one out. So I think what you can actually do is you go Slime Toes, Draenor, Dag. Yeah, that works. Slime Toes, Draenor, Dag is actually a nice combination. We don't really need Dag Fledglings. I'm going to hold on to... That'll put me on, what? 3 base? I think I'm going to hold on to Safe Spot and Dragon Longsword, because they're useful later on down the line. So we're going to go Draenor, Slime Toes, Dagonal Sentinel. So here... Oh, shit! Shit, I've played that in the wrong order! Oh, I am a dumbass. Use your noggin. So what I intended to do there... This isn't ultimately terrible. What I intended to do was equip Sergeant Slime Toes, kill Draenor, which would have then made... God damn it. Which would have made... Sentinel, Dagonal Sentinel, 5 health, which would have meant I one-shot it. As it is, I'm going to take a hit from Dagonal Sentinel that I didn't need to. But it's not the end of the world. It means I've used up my weapon, but it's ultimately not the end of the world. It just meant I took some dumb damage. And this is why I tell people to slow down and think about their turn. The worst part is I told you exactly what I was going to do and then just did it wrong. Learn from your mistakes, you know. Oh, unfortunately I discarded my penguin there. Which is a shame because it's, you know, easy... what's the word? Easy AP game. But, again, not the end of the world here. What is with all these safe spots? Oh my god, we could take 10 health off the Hope Devourer. I don't think it's worth it, though. I think what we do... So, if I hadn't fucked that up, I would have actually had a 3-2 weapon on me. Sorry, 3-1 weapon on me. No, I would have used it up. That's a lie. I wouldn't have had a 3-1 weapon on me. I think we just Crassian here. Like, you could double safe spot into Hope Devourer, but then I discard my Dragon Longsword and my Tetsu. Is it really worth it? Maybe it is. Maybe we go double safe spot, Hope Devourer, and then draw cards. So we give up these 2 cards, but gain other cards. These are both good cards, but, you know, I'm not seeing my gold gain, and I'm not really, like, seeing my Darren Lightfinger, so... Fuck it. At least I know what I'm losing. And she's tanking a hit out of it. So she tanked 8 damage to deal 4. I don't agree with that sort of play. I mean, unless it was going to win her the game. So there goes our Dragon Longsword. Bye-bye, Dragon Longsword. And then healed? Oh, strange play, strange play. There goes our full Tetsu. Bye-bye, full Tetsu. And this is a way that you can use these safe spots. You can double stack them onto the same monster. And again, it's a shame we are on 4 base attack. If we had, you know, if we had KGP, we probably would have KGP'd and then done that. But it is what it is. And now she's on 2. And we're on 4, which is good news. And now she's on 3. God damn it. Vanescula. I'm so annoyed at myself still about that. Really dumb Dagonal Sentinel play. And I mean, even, you know, even players who've played as much as me still make mistakes. And it's important to try and learn from those. I mean, I've done it now. I'm hopefully not going to do it again. I might still do it again. We'll see. What have we got? Ogre Chieftain. Full So So what we'll probably do here, we'll Count Draenor into Jad. Unfortunately, I'm going to take a hit from Count Draenor, but ultimately I steal 4 health and then I gain 4 armor and another base attack. So that's still okay. And then we'll White Wolf, I think. And like I could, so what I could do is tank 5 from this to gain the gold, which would let me equip full Tetsu. But I'm really worried in terms of my health how this is going to work out. Because we're up against the Vanescula. So I think tanking 5 is maybe a bit risky. But then on the flip side, on the next turn, I get to... I think we do it, you know what? I think we do it, and then on the next turn we get to full Tetsu. Let's take a risk. Every time I take a risk, it doesn't pay off. Every time I'm like, let's take a risk, and then it just goes badly. So there we go, we steal some health. So now we're up to 15 health, I believe. Then we'll kill Jad. She's removing health for base attack. Okay, so now we're on 5. Then we take 2 damage from this and 5 from the next thing. So actually, I think we're okay. We're on 15 health and 1 armor. So we're on about more or less half health at this point, right? And there's Kalphite Emissary, and there's Darren Lightfinger, which actually would have made our support card cheap. So she's going to steal 3 health from me with the Gorge, putting her on 23. And this is an advantage of going second, because if I'd gone first there, she would have actually stolen 6. She would have stolen 6 health instead of 3, because she would have been on mortal health, like that. Mortal being 15 or less health. So here you guys can see the value of full Tetsu, and we could have, like I said, Darren Lightfingered into it, but it's not to be. So there's, we'll just straight up play full Tetsu. Then I think we Slime Toes puts us on what, 5, 8 damage. Slime Toes the Kalphite Emissary puts us on 9 damage. I think we're going to do this towards the end of the turn. Maybe? So I'm basically wondering if it's worth killing this. I'd take 6 damage if I did. But I gain 5 armor? I think we do it, and then 1 more base attack puts me on 7. Yeah, why not? I mean, we've just gained 7 armor and 7 health, you know? Like, life's not too bad for us here. Seems good. So now we're on 19 health and 8 armor. We kill this. It does 2 damage, but we gain 2 armor. So again, it did effectively nothing. And we get a 3-2 weapon. She's barely played any cards. Oh shit, oh fuck, I'm an idiot. Why would I play a card that sets me to 5 armor when I've gained that much armor? We are just making all of the mistakes today, you guys. Like, all of the mistakes. Jesus Christ. If we still win, like, this proves that this deck is foolproof. Because I've made so many mistakes. I gained so much armor, and then I'm like, I know, I'll set it to 5 armor. I mean, that card's in there to stop armor stacking raptors. Apparently it also stops armor stacking, who am I? Armor stacking, Ozans. So Kalphite Emissary put in last slot in case she equips a weapon for the final fight. Beyond that, I think we heal, no, we heal, then we Dag Sentinel, then we heal. So Dag Sentinel will do 3 damage, and if I heal twice in a row without her hitting me, I'm actually going to lose out on 1 healing, whereas if I play it in this order, it's a little bit better. I think this should still beat this AP Vanescula. I think. I mean, her deck was kind of strange because it was AP stacking, but it was also, you know, damage. She had the Gorges on there, and she had the Alpha Werewolves we're seeing here. And again, that's not going to put her on... Is it going to put her on Mortal? Oh, it is going to put her on Mortal. Oof, this one's going to hurt. I think it's okay, because we've got, like I said, a lot of healing in here. We're healing for 6 and we're taking 3 damage, so we're healing for... Sorry, 12 and taking 3 damage. We're healing for 9 across the course of this. Oh, fucking stack of sharks. You cheeky bitch. The good news, however, is I have a lot higher base attack than her, and I'm also stopping her equipping a weapon at the end. So I think, again, I think we're still okay. Yeah, so she's just done 4 damage to me and taken 8 damage in return. What is that move? Read your cards. And now we're on 21. She hasn't equipped a weapon. She's going to steal 4 health. But this was there just in case she equipped a weapon. And then we're going to kill the Kalphite Emissary and go to the final fight and beat her up. Seems good. So she needs to hit me. I only need to hit her 3 times. She needs to hit me 5 times, so we win. Despite our major fuck-ups. You know, the fact that we pissed away... How much did we piss away? We pissed away, like, at least 10 or so armor and gave her 5. We also, you know, fucked up at the start. The armor fuck-up was probably the bigger fuck-up. But we still managed to win. And hopefully you can see how this deck is played, even if I didn't, you know, super mess it up. And because of the way the cards work together, there are lots of options. Like you saw, for example, that I used 2 safe spots, for example. 2 safe spots on the Hope Devourer, for example. So removing 10 of his health. Alternatively, you could use 1 safe spot into a Jad. You can, if you don't fuck it up, do the Sergeant Slime Toes into Count Draenor into Dagon Sentinel combo on your first turn, on the first chapter, and that'll get you a base attack. There's lots of ways you can gain that base attack and start stacking. And provided you're not like me and make massive mistakes, it'll work out nicely for you. But yeah, like I say, this is a budget ranked deck is what I would call it. And the reason I say that is because if it were me, I would put, for example, I would put Kale in this deck. It's a 4-2 weapon. It gives you a better reach than a Slime Toes would, but Slime Toes is a good alternative. I might even have both. I'd also have, for example, Kaizaj Tournament in this deck. If we can show you it here. Kaizaj. Yeah, oh no, I need to be in support. Kaizaj Tournament. Basically just gives you a base attack. So it's kind of like a KGP, but, you don't discard. Instead, you give 3 gold to your rival, but usually your rival techs in enough gold that it's not a problem. I mean, other cards that I typically put in my ranked deck, stuff like Black Knight Titan, strike rival with the weapon, remove weapon from rival. An alternative to this is stuff like Calphite Emissary, remove 5 armor and 3 durability from your weapon. You're not striking them, but, you're still removing those weapons. And also Redbeard Frank, if you remember the gold stacking Linza at the start. This is a very good counter to her. She had, 16 gold by the end. Unfortunately, she didn't manage to spend it, but if we had Frank, we would have been able to take it off her. So these are some of the diamond cards that I would start putting in these decks. But from a crafting cost perspective, they seriously start to ramp up the cost of the deck. So this is what I'm going to call a budget Hope-zan, Hope Devourer deck. And I think you can use it to get up there in ranked. I think you can use this to get, up to platinum. And I think it would be successful. My issue at this point is, I'm in platinum. So now I'm having to start to think a little bit more outside of the box. But yeah, beyond that, if you've liked this video and watching me fuck up, you can hit that thumbs up button. But at least I identified my fuck ups, right? And let me know in the comments below what you think of these budget ranked decks, whether you want to see more of them, whether you want to see some dungeoneering, what do you want to see? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I do read all the comments. And if you want to keep up to date with us on social media, we have a Facebook, facebook.com/thekilobits, and a Twitter @thekilobits. If you want to give back to the Kilobits to support us as content creators because you enjoy our content, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/thekilobits. And if you want to see me spend my Kappa coins and, fuck up like I did today, I have a Twitch, twitch.tv/Jaggerus. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a great day, and I hope to see you again. Bye!